Hello students and welcome to Crop Science 6049. We have started a new topic, plant morphology and physiology. In today's lesson, we are going to look at plant meristems. By the end of this lesson, you must be able to describe the following types of plant meristems: apical meristems, intercallary meristems, lateral meristems, and basal meristems. What is a plant meristem? A plant meristem is a region on a plant with cells that are capable of division and causing plant growth. Not every part of a plant can cause a plant to grow, but there are specialized regions called meristems. These are the ones that result in plant growth. Cell division happens by mitosis, and daughter cells remain in the meristem while others increase in size and differentiate. The cells are tightly packed with small vacuoles, immature chloroplast, and thin cell walls. Meristemic cells are small cells with equal diameter in all directions, dense cytoplasm and cuboid, and with thin cell wall. They also have small vacuoles and undifferentiated plastids called protoplastids. The cells are tightly packed with no air spaces between them. These cells are called initials. So initials are the cells that are found in meristems that divides and result in plant growth. Meristems are classified by their location in the plants as follows. An apical meristem, there is also an intercalary meristem, a lateral meristem, and a basal meristem. So let's take a look at the apical meristem. What is an apical meristem? An apical meristem is a meristem that is found at the tip, either at the tip of a root or at the tip of a shoot. So these types of meristem, they cause the growth of a root or the growth of a shoot. The word apical is derived from the Latin word apex, which simply means a tip. It divides rapidly, making the shoot and the root of the plant grow longer. This is termed primary growth. So apical meristems, they result in the primary growth of a plant. The cells of the shoot and root apical meristems are considered to be indeterminate, which means that they do not possess any definite end fate. So cells that are found in an apical meristem, they continue to divide and divide and divide as long as growth is still needed. The presence of an apical bud, which is also known as a terminal bud, exerts apical dominance over the auxiliary bud, ultimately promoting vertical growth and hindering lateral growth. An apical bud, where the growth of a plant occurs, exerts what is known as apical dominance, or it produces hormones that prevents auxiliary buds from growing and causing vertical growth. But if an apical bud is removed, or if a terminal bud is removed, no hormones will be produced anymore to cause or prevent auxiliary buds from growing. So you'll notice that if an apical bud is removed, auxiliary buds will start to grow. When the apical bud is removed, signal blocking vertical growth from auxiliary buds disappear to activate lateral growth. Let's look at the different types of apical meristems. We have the shoot apical meristem. The shoot apical meristem is found above the ground and is composed of undifferentiated cells that can develop to become one of the following three primary meristem. We have the protoderm, procambium, and the ground meristem. So a shoot apical meristem is made up of three primary meristems, which are the protoderm, the procambium, and the ground meristem. The protoderm will form the epidermal tissue or the epidermis. The procambium will become the vascular tissue including phloem, xylem, vascular cambium, and the pericycle. The ground meristem will become the parenchyma ground tissues, which are cortex and pith in dicotyledons. When flowering plants are ready to bloom, the shoot apical meristem will become an inflorescent meristem where petals, sepals, stamens, and other flower parts emerge. A flower can form from the apical meristem. Let's look at the root apical meristem. The root apical meristem is found at the tips of roots and is responsible for growth and development of plant roots. The apical meristem is protected by a root cap and continues to produce cells even as the root cap is scraped away as it pushes through the soil. It is also composed of undifferentiated cells that can develop and become one of the following three primary meristems, just like in the shoot apical meristem: protoderm, procambium, and the ground meristem. Now let's take a look at the intercalary meristem. The intercalary meristem are a type of meristemic tissue located at the internodes or base. The intercalary meristems help in increasing the length of internodes. This is usually seen in monocotyledonous plants. These are parts of apical meristem but have become isolated as the plant elongates just above various nodes. Regions of the internode are at different stages of development, and in most cases the top part is the most developed, while the lower parts are still meristemic, or they are still growing or dividing. Now let's take a look at the lateral meristem. A lateral meristem is found on the lateral sides of a stem and a root of a plant. It helps in increasing the diameter and the thickness of plants. That is, it causes horizontal growth. Growth produced by lateral meristems is called secondary growth. There are two types of lateral meristems, which are vascular cambium and cork cambium. Let's take a look at the vascular cambium. The vascular cambium produces the secondary xylem and the secondary phloem. In woody plants, it forms a continuous ring of new wood around the stem, which is also known as the annual ring. It lies between the wood and the inner bark. Herbaceous plants don't have wood, so vascular cambium forms bead-like bundles that create a ring around the stem. There are two types of vascular cambium cells, which are the fusiform initials and the ray initials. Now let's take a look at the cork cambium. This tissue is present in mostly woody and some herbaceous plants and gives rise to the cork or bark layer on the outside of the stem and secondary growth in the epidermis of roots. Some plants and trees have smooth bark, while others are rough, scaly, and even naturally flake off from the tree. For your own further research, please go and define the following terms: phloem, 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 and periderm, and write your answers in the comment section. Now let's take a look at the basal meristem, which is the last type of meristem that we are going to look at today. A basal meristem are meristems that are located at the base of the organ that it produces. Growth happens not at the tip but at the base. For example, spines on plants grow upward due to a meristem located at the base. These meristem cells divide mostly across, then enlarge and divide again. As they enlarge, they push cells above themselves upward. All cells remain meristemic until they reach a certain level. Then they stop dividing, begin to elongate into fibers, deposit and lignify a secondary wall, and finally die. Meanwhile, other cells in the basal meristem will be continuing to divide. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions, additions and subtractions, please write them in the comment section. If you feel you have benefited from this video, click the like button.